Hello, and thank you so much for tuning in to the She Can Ball podcast. I'm your host, Mahi Jariwala. Today we're joined by Clair Steele, the point guard for Lehigh women's basketball. Thank you so much for coming on today. I appreciate your time.
Awesome. Yeah, no problem. Happy to be here.
So, just kind of starting from the beginning of your career, how did you get into basketball?
I got into basketball. I'm the youngest sibling. I'm the baby. So when I was a kid, I was always just kind of at all my siblings' sporting events. So to keep like myself busy and like what my parents did, they just always had a ball in my hand. And my older sister and all my older cousins played basketball, and I loved watching them. So I always wanted to be a basketball player.
And in high school, you played for Miramonte, where you were a four-time state champion. What was it like to play for such like a winning program? And did you ever feel pressure?
I never really felt pressure just because we worked so hard and like I always thought the work showed for itself. So there was never really pressure, it's just kind of us playing our game. And like just playing for a winning program, playing under Kelly for so long, it was just you just feel like really lucky because a lot of people like don't get the chance to do that. And that was just like my hometown high school team that I just happened to be able to go to. Like that was the one I was supposed to go to my whole life. So just like really lucky, like blessed to be able to have such great coaches throughout my high school career.
What was so special about Coach Kelly?
What's so special about him? A lot of things. Probably the first thing is that he's just real. Like he's not going to sugarcoat anything. And you know how much he cares just by how he treats all his players. Like he demands so much of you because he knows that that's what you're capable of. So he just wants to see you reach your full potential. So probably just that he's real, and he really cares about all of us, not just on the court but off the court. Like I'm still in contact with him, so like that speaks for itself. Just the fact that I'm a senior in college now, and I still talk to my high school AAU coach, childhood coach.
What was it like to play both AAU and high school basketball with him?
Pretty special. Again, like not a lot of people have been able to do that. And it honestly like helped me get to know him a lot. I've known him since I was in the first grade, so like already pretty close. But just being able to like have that relationship, both AAU and high school, and it also helped me just like learn the system really well. So that's the system I grew up on. So I was always just familiar with it. That's
Do you
probably
have anything to say about like what made that like specific system so successful and like what was that system like?
It was I think what's so successful about it is like there was some set plays, but it was a lot of like reads and like basketball IQ, which is what a lot of Kelly's players, including myself, like learned from him is just like basketball IQ and making the right reads. I think that's probably what was so dangerous about it was that you never really knew like what was gonna come because like if something was taken away, we have a second option. Like it was never really just like set in stone most of the time. It was a lot of just making a lot of reads.
Do you have any advice for being able to play with a higher basketball IQ and be able to make those reads?
Um, for me, what helps is watching basketball. Like I really do love to watch basketball. A lot of like women's college basketball and men's and NBA. And I've recently really gotten into the WNBA. So like just kind of surrounding yourself with basketball and like basically being a student of the game, like really paying attention and trying to analyze and just see why people did certain things in certain plays.
How do you like watch film to learn? I feel like it's different when you just like watch a game for like the sake of it and just to have fun rather than like really dissecting it.
Well, I started like when I watch games, just regular games, I do try to not like overanalyze it, but I do like to try to think about like why players are doing what they do, and why like if they should have done something like this or something different. But like watching film, I usually like to watch plays like over and over again, whether it be myself or like teammates or like any other game. I like to watch it over and over again, like even highlights on Instagram or Twitter, and just trying to like analyze, think about it, like even look at the defense. But for myself, I like repetition is what really works for me.
Yeah, I think same. Even like if I'm watching like an NBA game and something cool happens, I always end up like going back and going back and going back because I feel like there's so many like little things that there is to look at. And my mom's like, "What are you doing? Like, just
Yeah.
watch."
Definitely.
Um, yeah, and also being at Miramonte, like Sabrina Ionescu went there. Did you ever get to play with her?
Yes, I played with her my freshman and sophomore year of high school, and then I played with her. I started playing with her in like the third grade for AAU.
Wow.
Yeah, so
What was it like to play with her?
definitely it's taught me like a lot about just like leadership on the court, and taught me a lot about, again, what Kelly does, making reads and stuff like that. And she was hard on me, and I appreciate that just because it did make me better. My freshman year, I came off the bench, so I was always going head to head with her every day, which was definitely very difficult for a freshman to do. But in the end, like it really did make me better, and I'm really grateful for that.
What do you think makes her so special?
Just I think what makes her so special is like she demands excellence out of herself, and like she won't stop working until she thinks she's achieved that, and I don't think she'll ever think she has achieved that. So she just has this drive and this work ethic that not many other people can match or top.
Like moving on to your college career, like what made you so interested in Lehigh?
It's a great academic school, and it kind of like fit all the aspects that I wanted in the school. And originally, I wanted to be an engineer. That is not what I am going to school for right now, but it's a great engineering school. It's like really well known for that, and just being able to play basketball at such a high level and also get an incredible education was something I couldn't really pass up. And also an old her name's Haley Pasco. She went to Lehigh, and she's from the Bay Area. She went to Clayton Valley. So I kind of talked to her about it. Kelly got us connected, and she convinced me.
What were some of the other schools you were looking at, and like what really made you choose Lehigh ultimately? Because it is farther away from California.
Yeah. I was looking at Long Beach State pretty seriously, and just like University of Portland, UC San Diego, and Army West Point. And I know Army West Point is also far, but I think what really like solidified it was I really wanted to do something new. I've only ever grown up in the same house in Arinda for my entire life. And I kind of wanted to get out and explore and kind of just put myself in an entirely different environment and just see how I did.
And like, what has been your experience so far playing college basketball?
It's been good. It's definitely been challenging, especially this year with COVID. It's playing basketball at a Division I level has definitely taught me about the importance of mental health and like taking care of your mental health. Um, so it's definitely been challenging, but I've like created a lot of incredible relationships that I wouldn't have made if I didn't go here or play basketball. And I think it's really helped me like grow as a player and definitely as a person. So yeah.
I think it's harder for you to attend a school that's so like deep in academics that like it's harder to just focus on basketball because you're going to a school that's like really great in both those aspects.
Yes and no. Definitely can be challenging at times. I'm personally not great at time management, but
Same.
but like if I have a period of time where I'm really like focused on like scheduling and planning out my time and making sure I have time to finish my homework, but also go get up shots before practice or something like that, or even in the mornings, like I've really come usually like in the falls, I really like utilize my mornings to try to just get in extra shots because like once you're done in the morning and you just have class, like it's just a lot easier. But definitely time management will make a hard academic school and a high basketball school possible.
Like, what is your schedule? Like, what is a practice schedule like?
Lehigh is really nice. Our coaches actually plan around our class schedules, so we don't have to plan our classes around practice. So we usually have practice at night, so it's either like 5:30 to 7:30 or 7:30 to 9:30. So just like late at night. Freshman year, we did have some morning practices. Wasn't a big fan of that, but it's mostly 6 days a week usually for basketball practice, and then in the fall, 3 lifting days a week, and usually like during the season, it's just like 2 lifting days a week.
And what are your practices like? Like, what do they consist of?
Well, we start out like with like team drills and just like getting warmed up, like basic warm up drills, and then we go into a little bit of guard post. So we kind of split up and like work on specifics of our positions, and then we also like at the probably the last hour, so we try to do like competition drills or scrimmaging stuff like that.
Would you say college is a lot of skill work, like just in practices and in general, or not really?
I think it's about the same. I think it's still like definitely emphasized in practice and outside of practice. It's emphasized more like outside of practice specifically, but we do some skill work, individual skill work during practice.
And being kind of like 5'5" and so kind of on the shorter side of basketball, like how did you not let your height discourage you?
I don't know, like I never really tried to think about it. Honestly, like I know I am very small, like especially on my team, like I'm always just the smallest person, which is totally fine. Like I'm kind of used to it at this point. Like I don't really see anything of it, but I just like try not to let it discourage me. Patriot League also does have some small guards, so that does help. Uh, but I just try to like basically it's kind of cliche, but like heart over height. Basically, I just try to outwork everyone regardless of my height and show that I do belong. Like I do belong in this league, and I'm supposed to be playing Division 1 basketball.
Yeah, like what would you say to someone who might be on the shorter side and just like doesn't have as much confidence in themselves because there's girls that are bigger than them that like can block them and stuff?
Yeah, actually, like with my trainers, I did work a lot on like finishing through contact and finishing with taller defenders, and also like what I did during high school and even now is I just try to like what I said, like I just try to outwork everyone like outside of basketball practice and stuff in high school. I was really adamant about just like putting in that extra work to make sure that my height wasn't going to be the thing that um, put me at a disadvantage. So
Yeah. And like were there any other hardships you had to overcome?
I've had a couple. I have really bad ankles, so I've had ankle injuries. I usually have like one a year. My sophomore year, I had a pretty bad one, which also can be like very mentally challenging and just like mental health challenges. COVID was just very isolating. We had a lot of quarantines, and we were really only allowed to see our team, and it was just like hard to get through. I didn't see my family for about 8 months, which was very difficult. But my teammates kind of really helped me through that, and my friends. So those are about the couple ones I've had.
Yeah, I mean, how hard was it just moving away from your family? I think Lehigh is pretty far. So how was that?
Yeah, it was really hard freshman year. We have a fall break, and I was very persistent about coming home. It was only about 4 days, and or I think it was 5 days, and two of them were travel days. But I was like, I need to come home. It was definitely challenging, but now like I love it. Like I love being at school. I was just at school for the first half of the summer with all my friends on the men's and women's basketball team, and now I'm like, oh, like I wish I could go back. Like I can't wait to go back.
Yeah, that's awesome. What advice would you give like your younger self or any young girls looking to pursue basketball?
I don't know, just as long as you love it, like keep going. Like I just loved basketball, and there were some times where I didn't, and there's sometimes I didn't want to practice, but like deep down I knew that if I didn't go work out or if I didn't play basketball that I would probably not be as happy as I am today. Like I just love the game. So as long as you love the game, like keep going and take care of your mental health. That's what also I would tell everyone. I know it's like a big topic, in media and sports media today, but definitely like you don't really know until it hits you and how important it is until it hits you and when you have to like kind of climb out of it and work through it, but definitely worth it to take care of your mental health.
Yeah, I think I really think that it's weird how mental health like just wasn't really like focused on or like highlighted in sport because I think there it's harder. Like it's such a big deal in sport. You know, I talk about this a lot, but I think the mental game is so important. I think the mental game of sports is so difficult to play than like literally anything else because like you go into a basketball game and you just have to react to like
Yeah.
everything. And like if you're not in the right like mental like headspace, like you just won't do well. And I feel like
Yeah.
in other situations you can get by with that, but like in a test, like if you're really not in like, you know, just in the right mental state, like you can still try to get by and try to like remember some things. But like in basketball, if you're not fully present, it's not gonna work out for you.
No, definitely. And even like mental health in terms of like, I mean, isn't as much mental health, but like confidence in yourself when you play the game. Like not just being in a good headspace outside of basketball, but like in basketball. Like make sure that you're confident in yourself. And I appreciate you saying like the mental game like wasn't really a thing because in high school, like when I was in high school, like it really wasn't that big of a deal. And now it's like very, very focused on and highlighted, which I think is awesome.
Yeah, for sure. I think there's a lot of like things just in sports in general that are really starting to take that turn. And I think it's really awesome to see that
Yeah.
for sure. Well, I appreciate you coming on today.
Yes, no, thank you for having me. I'm glad it worked out. I've been looking forward to this.